just before lunch. I will quickly go through an introduction of Awingu. Just one slide, I promise you, nothing more, but just to say who we are. We are actually a Belgian company, which was founded in 2011, so we consider ourselves as a scale-up, not as a startup anymore. We also have sufficient capital in our company, and we work a lot together with companies such as Microsoft, HP, Samsung, where we actually have a joint go-to-market program. So what is this all about, our software? Just to make you short storytelling, somehow the employees today, they want to work mobile, okay? There's already a lot of talking about that subject. Even, you know, Dolly Parton at the time, working 9 to 5, remember that song? She already was criticizing the fact that working from 9 to 5 created a lot of stress for the employee because they had to be on time, etc. At that time in the 80s, of course, there was no IT. Now we have the IT, so that's the good news. But if you look at the other side, and that's, you know, the tension field between the employee somehow and the IT services, they say, okay, we have a lot of questions because we have a lot of devices to manage, company-owned devices, which they need to receive sometimes an image or which needs a VPN connection to work with. On the other hand, they are concerned about the security of the data, which goes out of the company, which will go to mobile devices, which go to home computers, etc. So this tension field is reality. Now this is where Awingu comes in, and where we try to offer a solution. Actually what we do, and on top of that, sorry to come back 1 second, on top of that, if you look into a current organization today, you see that still a lot of these companies are using legacy applications. Legacy applications such as SAP or ERP systems, own written software, etc. And often they have an issue connecting people on a mobile, anywhere, any place, anytime spot, connecting them through those legacy applications. That's really an issue. And today you see still 75% of companies have legacy applications. Not everyone is on SaaS, okay? On top of that, you see that also the number of mobile workers, and it's only a comparison between 97 and 2010, but already that mobile workforce increased by around 50%, so which is enormous. So what are we offering? We'll skip this slide. Actually, if you look at the left side of the screen, you see the front end. The front end, what do you need to run Awingu to have access to all your desktop applications? Well, only a browser. All browsers are supported, all operatings are supported. The only thing you need is a device with a browser and a connectivity. That's it. There's no client to install on the device. You can run, will run this demo on this HP, which is not mine, so I hope it works. But I can run my demo and your company software on any device. On the back end, our application, which typically is installed on a VM, will connect to your existing backend. So we will not change anything from your backend. We will connect through your Active Directory, we will connect through your legacy applications, even your desktop applications, or your SaaS applications. On top of that, not only applications we will connect, but also your files, which could be typically your file servers or eventually cloud storage. Why would you put SaaS applications behind that portal? Well, first of all, it's ease of use. It's a single sign-on. So if you log in into your Awingu environment, you automatically log in into your SaaS environment. So it's single sign-on. And on top of that, you have all your control and auditing functions. You can really see who is using my applications at what time, at what point in time, and where. That's easy, for instance, just to have an audit on the number of licenses you are using. Well, you can measure it. You can have statistics on that. That's one of the reasons why we put it behind the portal. So let me now maybe go directly to the live demo, as I promised you. Not too many slides, just a demonstration. Seeing is believing, so that's what we're going to do now. Just put the mic back. I will look for a browser. I have one. Put it full screen. I'll go to demo. Oh, it's already there. Good. And I will just have here a single logon, which means username, password. We also. Is this what you're going to show? Yes. Oh, sorry. Sorry for that. Let's probably shift it towards here. Okay, that's better, right? Okay. So here you only see username, password. but we can also activate multi-factor authentication. I will come back after the demo on what kind of multi-factor authentication we can introduce, but often if a customer already uses MFA, we can integrate it into our solution. What I mean with multi-factor authentication is, of course, for instance, generating a token for an extra security to log in into your portal. Here, for demo purposes, it's only username password. So if I sign in, I arrive in my workspace, where you actually can see your most used applications and your most recent files. And then you have it separately. Here you have your files, which is typically all your network drives in which you have access at your desktop. This could be terminal server again, and this could be cloud storage. It's integrated. For the end user, it's transparent. If you go to applications, you see all the applications where my administrator gives me the right to access. Those rights are not defined within Awingu. Those rights are defined within your Active Directory. If your Active Directory is up to date, well, also your Awingu environment will be up to date. For instance, if an employee leaves your company, you only need to remove his name from the Active Directory, and he will not have any access to the Awingu environment afterwards. So here, for instance, I can now launch an Excel 2016. What we actually do is that RDP session, we will transfer it into HTML5 language, and we'll run it in a browser. Okay? Here you see now your full Excel running in a browser window. What you also see is that polygon which pops up, so that's actually your Awingu engine. If you click on it, I can go back to my home screen, which is this one. Now, for instance, I will start an AS400 terminal session running on a Windows PC. That's not so abnormal. Now, I can also see my active sessions here, which are actually 2 for the time being. I can, in the meantime, start another one. It's not easy to work in the opposite way, I will do. For instance, I can start an old Internet Explorer. Now I'm running a browser in another browser. Why would that be useful? For instance, if you have an old intranet that you can only access via an old version of Internet Explorer, you can run it into your browser. So browse and browse. Now you see that I will have 3 open sessions, 3 active sessions. This one I will need to, oh, it's not connectable. Sorry for that. We'll try another one.
Sorry, that is actual HTML content being displayed?
Absolutely, yeah.
So any graphical interface can be translated into...
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely, that's what we do. So here you see an old Finance Explorer. Now, what I explained to you, I have here my tablet, which is running on Android. If I take over this, I can take over this session. So by logging in with the same credentials, and as you can see, I have all my open sessions here. So I can leave this PC, jump in my car, or back on the train, work on my tablet, come home, take over my sessions on my fixed desktop at home. So that's the advantage of not having to install a VPN client. You can just open your sessions and it follows your independent devices. What else? Well, for instance, collaboration tools. This is the third part. I can share this session. How does it work? Well, it creates actually a unique web link, which I can share to you by email, for instance. If you just click on the link, you will be able to take over that session. Okay? So if you go to configure it, what can we do with it? Well, we can say, okay, 1 person at a time can work in the session, but you can also configure that everyone at a time. For instance, if you have a PowerPoint and one person is very good in the text and the other one is very good in the graphics, you could say, okay, let's share this presentation and work with both at the same time in the same presentation. I can put an extra protection on it if you want, and then I can actually send that link just by email to you, and you click on it and you can open it. We can show it next to, we have a demo, of course, over there. We can show it to you in more detail if you want, and we can even try it on your device, and you can try to take over a session. Actually, if we go to the files part, actually the same. I can select the file, and I can have some actions. Now, this might seem a little bit strange because you see the download function. Okay, download is something we can deactivate because normally for security reasons, and it's a security conference, if you shut down the browser, all data will be gone. There's no data, there's no images. There's nothing that is stored on a local device. But we want to give the opportunity to some people to say, okay, you have the right to download the file. For instance, if you have a JPEG which is associated on your server with Paintbrush, but you have a local PC where you are running Photoshop, and if you have the right, you could say, okay, I will download that file from my terminal server onto my local device, rework it with my local version of Photoshop, and upload it again. That's a function, of course, we can disable. Of course, here we can rename it, we can delete it, we can move it, we can copy it. And there's another function, we can also share this file. Same here, we can put a name to it, a description, expiration date even, create an expiration time. We can put that document in preview mode, in download mode, and we can use it in internal mode between the Awingu users or even a public mode. What does that mean? Again, if I click here on share, it will create a unique link. Okay, which I can copy and send to you by email. If you click on that link, the recipient will be able to work in that file if it was in download mode. If it's in...
The expiration time is only for downloading this?
Yes.
For this link,
yes.
Not the sort of DRM or something, or GLP, which is... Okay, I got my question.
If the link is expired, you will not be able to see the document anymore.
Yeah, but once you download it, you are free to do anything.
Yes,
right?
but if I put it in read-only mode, you will not be able to download it. Of course, you can take a print screen. That is always possible, but you will not be able to physically download it on your local device.
It's actually a good idea to protect the print screen via some plugin for the future versions. Just an idea.
Yeah, maybe.
As a professional in DLP, I would recommend that.
That's a good remark, because actually we have 20 developers which are continuously improving and adding features. So we're listening to our customers and our partners. And actually it takes us between 3 and 6 months to add features in the new version. So today we are 3.3. We already have a release date for the version 3.4, etc. So we continuously improve our product. Which, good idea. Thanks for the tip. So I'll talk to the guys. So here you see active sessions. Here, of course, you can also check your account. You can check your browser whether it's okay. I will check this one and then before. So there are 2 unsupported functions you see here, which is smart card, Java plugin support, and touch, which is logical. This is probably not a touch PC. And actually Chrome is not supporting Java plugins, so that's totally logic. He's giving those 2 errors. Oops. Any questions?
Anything? Maybe I have a question.
Yes.
Maybe I missed it in your presentation, but which are your markets yet? Or now, or it was, or it's going to be, or your future plans? Which are the markets you can expand?
Yeah, of course, we started with our home country, which is Belgium. Then we went to the US, then to the UK. And the big blind spot we had today was the Nordic market and the Baltic market, and Poland. So that's one of the reasons why we're here. We're collaborating with a distributor, which is called Also, one of the partners of this conference, who will distribute our product in the near future. So, yes.
Okay, thank you. One question to you. You showed this, but what about the security features? Because I know that HTML5 is not that secure. And if you put the whole company, like internal backend server already like accessible through HTML5.
Yes.
So do you have any additional security?
Well, the security, we are not exporting data from your company, okay? So the data will not leave your backend. The only thing what we do is transfer those data into images.
Okay, I understand this, but still it's like a window into the system.
It's a window, and the advantage is if you shut down the window, there's no data left. So that's one of the, so we're not storing any data on the local server or at an Awingu server. We're not getting data out of your company. The data stays really in the company.
But it allows to edit data, as much as I understand from here.
It allows to?
Edit data within the server.
Yes, we can edit it, if you have seen, but you can also deactivate those functions. That depends on the rights given to you. If your administrator, if your CIO your IT department decides that you cannot edit data, then we will, of course, block all those functions as rename, copy, share, and download. And then we will just skip it. That's a use case we have, for instance, for the Belgian police. Okay, the Belgian police, they don't allow the file part. So we just removed the entire file part and we just run the applications. The applications, they connect to a database which is on their premise, so there's no data link. Not at all.
Okay, that's better.
No.
Thank you.
So we can adapt this features.
So I must say, I must thank your company and you personally for making such a great product. I would say that's one of the revolutionary things I've seen in the latest years.
Thank
so
you.
that's a brilliant idea for sure. Still few questions. So I can see this is HTTPS. So that's anyhow there is an additional protection to the channel and so on. So this I would say that security on that level is considered okay. But transferring visual information from desktop as such would certainly require quite a big amount of resources. That's basically video streaming.
Yeah, but we are using a lot of WebSocket technology, so that keeps the bandwidth very low. This is a very useful solution for non-3D applications. Okay, I admit that you can't run, you can run AutoCAD, but it will be slower, of course, because that uses a lot of bandwidth. Certainly, if you're working bidirectionally, but these applications are very static, actually.
Yeah,
so
sure.
our application, and this is, of course, that's one of the secrets, trade secrets of Awingu. But actually, what we do, we only send the data of the element which is changing.
Yes,
So if the screen stays static,
which makes sense.
we're not transferring any images.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah. Anyway,
So that's one of the secrets and
yeah,
one of the overall
that's
solutions.
a very useful and beautiful approach, I would say, for many markets.
Yeah. Thank you.
So any other questions? It's a pity that we cannot actually have some online questions, or maybe we have, but I just checked the Twitter. There are not many, or at all, in general. But Twitter is maybe dying. Who knows?
So as I said, maybe just to show you that also as an IT administrator, you have your backend where you can run a lot of usage, a lot of insights and statistics about your application, about your sessions. You can actually ask who is using what at what time. So also there for security point of view, we can really control your shadow IT somehow. Let me just get back maybe to the presentation and show you another thing I promised you. No more questions on the demo, then I'll shut it down. Now I have to find my presentation back, which is actually here. Now it should pop up. Okay. In terms of the multi-factor authentication, so standard built in our appliance, we have Google Authenticator. So that's a small app where you generate a token, for instance, on your mobile file, and then you enter it as a two-factor authenticator in the Awingu software. But we also, and this is mostly used, of course, support Radius. Everything which is, for instance, RSA, Vasco, Symantec is supported. Also SMS passcode, US security, and Azure MFA is supported as a multi-factor authentication. I think with those 5, we cover, I think, most of the market. Just maybe to conclude also our feature highlights. So what makes us special versus competition? Well, first of all, I guess, as you have seen, it's an intuitive usage. It's an interface which is easy to understand. It's the file is like a Windows Explorer environment. It's just icons, so it's really easy to understand. I think the second point is the application session sharing, which we have, a unique feature. The control and auditing functions, just as a usage insight. SaaS single sign-on, so you don't have to log in twice. And what also I maybe forgot to show is the local printing, which is also a feature you can print out of those sessions. So we do it via a double way. So first you will print out of your session to an Awingu printer, which afterwards will create a PDF, and there you can access your network printers or your local printers as defined in your Active Directory. So you can print as you were on work. Okay. And then typically for the Belgian market, we also have smart card support. That's via plugin and is only available on Firefox and Internet Explorer, but we can install plugins if needed. I don't know if you're using software titles where you need actually some kind of ID card. Well, we can also integrate that support. So intuitive, I already said, it's easy to deploy. A typical installation of Awingu takes about 2 hours. So we typically will install it on a VM. We can do it on a distance. We don't have to come to on-premise, but if we need, of course, you can install Awingu also on-premise, and then we will come to you. It's somehow easy to leverage your investments because you don't have to change your backend. Okay? Some people are struggling to say, okay, we need to translate some software titles to a new environment or to an upgrade of Windows Server or to a mobile platform such as Android or iOS. Well, here you can leave it as is. Okay, if you have an old server mixed with a new service, well, you just leave your backend as it is. So you can leverage those investments, and it has low TCO. Why? Because there's nothing to configure. There's no images to create on your PCs, no VPNs to install, no PC park to maintain. So that's very easy. It's really a bring your own device strategy which you can follow thanks to Awingu. So some use cases, just to conclude. It's hassle-free teleworking, bring your own device, I already explained. We of course support browser upgrades. It's also, for instance, useful for contractor management. If you have sometimes consultants which are coming on premise, you need to give them access to your systems to say, for instance, to do an update on SAP. Where here you could say, okay, we will share the session, and he can work via that session into your systems. And we can also activate video recording, so you actually can see afterwards what he did. Okay. It could be a perfect solution for interim, for instance, merger and acquisition between two companies who are using different software, different business processes. Well, you can easily give one group access to the other one. It's a measure also to optimize and control your shadow IT. A lot of data leaves companies via WeTransfer, via all this kind of stuff. If you oblige them to work behind this Awingu portal, you will be at least be able to see what they did. You can follow them. And the biggest advantage we have, we can run any legacy on any device. So as I showed you, you can run AS400, SAP, all kind of CRM packages, all your own legacy, all your own written software. We can run it on Awingu. Some reference cases, well, I already told you police, but we have also Amadeus, Proximus, which is the biggest telecom provider in Belgium. We have Audi, we have a lot of local gov, because local government, they're using a lot of legacy applications, own written software, which dates back from the 90s, still running on Windows XP. So, and they don't have budget to, let's say, make a new move to Windows Server 2016, or they don't have budget to rewrite those programs. So that's one of the advantages we have. We have a lot of hospitals in our customer database. They run a lot of own written programs for photos, etc. And so for them it's very easy. Now they can move around with patient files on an easy way. And they can consult them on a distance. We are also having a model where we can offer it in the CSP model. So we also host our solution. So we are already on the market in the Azure store. We are in the IBM workplace. We can deploy actually Awingu on via CSP model. So that's it. I thank you very much for your attention. If you still have some questions.
Yeah, feel free. We still have 4.5 minutes. So, yeah, you.
Well, as someone who is close to development, can you share the information? How many developers your company has?
20.
That's a good sign, actually. So, only professionals.
Yeah, we have operations team, we have Q&A team, we have code writers. Yeah. And it's all.
It should be like that. It should be like that.
And all the trademarks and all the intellectual rights are owned by Awingu. So we don't use external contractors.
I presume you have a lot of investments, as you mentioned, because this should be a very promising platform, I would say. Mm-hmm. So good luck with this. So,
thank you.
Yeah, you deserve it.
Thank you very much.